Hey everyone, welcome back to another Dr. Twisted's Toy Time. It's been a while since I've done an actual video, but for this weekend, me, my wife, and child went to Missouri Comic Con. We had a great time, and I found some really cool goodies, but I wanted to share some footage that I took. I took some video of some booths I thought were interesting and that had some cool vintage toys or other interesting things. I got some footage of Alan Tudyk and a couple other people doing a Q&A, and that was awesome to see. He's an awesome actor and he's super funny. So I wanted to share that first, and then when we come back, I will show you my booty. So let's get on with it. Alright, we're starting out with some how to train your dragons. These things were pretty cool. It's like they had a lot of setups where you could pay and get pictures taken. And it's always fun seeing the droids, but there was a bunch of people over there, so I didn't want to get them in the video. Here are some creepy dolls, Cupid dolls. Some fun comic books. I really wanted that jumbo Star Wars figure there. Some more comic books. These were some pretty cool tiki cups. I love that Gonzo. And the Star Wars ones were pretty cool too. Something interesting to see. And this was awesome, seeing all the Tales from the Crypt figures mint on card, or Tales from the Crypt Keeper. And then Skeleton Warriors and the Terminator Salvations. I have a bunch of those, but still cool to see on card. These were awesome. Fun little spoof pictures. Somebody kept coming into my way, so I couldn't get them all, but these were some awesome sculptures. Fun little Pickle Rick or whatever that was. Some more cool sculptures. This was awesome. They were 3D printed, but they were really cool. McDonald's brass knuckles and the Predator arm holding the skull. That was really cool. And the jumbo TMNT sewer piece here. They had smaller ones of that too. These were some interesting bags, I thought. Look neat. This booth was really cool. I wanted this, the green one of this one is my favorite one. That one right there. But he was only selling them all four to a set, which I don't have any of them, but I didn't want to drop $100 on them. But he has some really cool stuff in this booth. Like that Jaga. I was so tempted to get him. He didn't have his helmet, but he was like $195. Lots of cool stuff here though. Starship Eternia, some vintage Joes, some vintage Thundercats, some vintage Star Wars. This was a interesting cosplay booth, I think. And this booth was awesome. Lots of really cool stuff, but most of it was really pricey. I did find some cool things out here on the inside of the booth that I could get. On the inside he has loose figures and stuff, which will be there in a second. Yeah, the glare was terrible. Some vintage Transformers and some G.I. Joe and Rambo. Here was a Lego setup. I always like seeing the Lego setups. Some fun builds. Some Star Wars. This was all the 501st booth here. This Wicket statue thing was awesome. I love that shirt. I wanted to get it, but wanted other stuff first. Some Klingons, Magic from New Mutants. I'm not sure what this character was, but he was really cool. It's like a rat guy. Ghost Rider I had to get. This was the Supernaturals car. And this Mandalorian Deadpool was awesome. The Vault-Tec van.
For Alan, what is one of your? Is he right behind me? Oh no, not there. I'm in trouble now.
You guys like, hey, it's a Saturday night in Springfield. I like this.
Do you have a favorite memory or experience from Con Man?
Con Man?
Yes.
Oh wow. Well, we were all in Con Man, which is great.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
So now this is a con man panel. Just letting you know. That's all we're talking about.
He found the
You're
link.
welcome.
Alan is the plug man, always. 6
Wow.
degrees?
No.
1.
And you were pregnant with your son.
Whoa.
Yeah, so he was a con man.
He was a con man. He'll be thrilled. He's 10 now.
It was, yeah. My favorite, I mean, gosh, there were so many. Okay, so some people know about Con Man, other people don't know about Con Man. Con Man was a thing I wanted to write something about cons. And I created this character named Ray Nearly, who nearly was a star, and he didn't love his life. He was a sci-fi actor who resented his life. And there used to be people at cons, used to be actors, you don't see them anymore, who would come to these things and be like, look, I could be doing something else, but I'm just doing this right now. I'm gonna do it. You know, they look down on it. And so I wanted to make a show about that guy. And so that's who I played. Anyway, what was I talking about?
Your favorite one.
Favorite thing. Oh, so it was tough. Like, we had pitched it to a lot of places. Nathan Fillion produced, and we pitched it to a lot of places, and they were always like, yeah, that'll be funny, because the nerds, and they're like this. Have you ever seen what they dress? It's like, you're missing it, you're missing it, you're missing it. The person who you make fun of is us. We're the crazy ones. And they're the ones who stay true. They're what make it work. That's the love of this world. And it was tricky to balance that, where we're showing things that we saw here to show how fun and funny they could be. Anyway, there was one moment where I feel like it really did it, where, because we meet people who come up and go, you helped me through a tough time, or I was in Iraq, or stuff. They're like, wow, whoa. And it means something, and it means something to us. So there's a guy, I grew up with him, his name's Greg Wilson, in Texas, and he's a comic now. And he dressed in his Tooth Fairy costume, which was his Halloween costume, and he comes up and he asked me to write my catchphrase, which is, I will see you in hell! And he says it with me, and he does this because even though Wilson does, he's Hispanic. And he's like, okay, could you write it? I will see you in hell! Kind of a screech. And he says, Yocho, help me forget what happened to my village. I burned it down. And it works, right? Because he's the one. And we didn't even have it written. It was like, I want to do something here, and we just kind of came up with it right there. And then that was one of my favorite things the whole time because it did a thing I didn't think we were going to be able to pull off. Okay, so this is.
All right, I hope you enjoyed the fun stuff. And now, let me show you what I got. All right, I'll start out with a couple comic books I found. I found Wolverine number 18. These were all in a $2 box. So I was looking through and seeing if I could find anything. So I found some older Wolverines that I needed. So number 18, 19, 57. So I thought I had this one, but it wasn't on my list. And then I got this Vertigo Swamp Thing number 5. And this 100-page comic giant Halloween issue of Swamp Thing. So those were the comics I got. I stopped by the 501st booth, picked up a couple of the freebies. They had this How to Become a, or So You Want to Be a Stormtrooper pamphlet. I thought that was fun. And then they had some cards, like this KT-20. Navon, some of the cosplayers. I like how they do their own personal cards. Meatballs. This one's signed. I guess her name is Jazz Brower. Var Palo. Kevin Weir. And this one's probably my favorite. Shadow Biker Scout. Very cool. Then there was also this sticker. I love stickers, sticking them on my wall and everything. So I thought those were some fun little freebies. Always by the 501st are awesome. I like going by and getting pictures and stuff like that. Alright, now with the actual toys. The first purchase of the show was this Super Fright Janine figure. I love this feature that she has where her eyes bug out and it has creepy like fish. So that's supposed to be like her helmet's filling up with water, I guess. And it has creepy fish things. Awesome find. Alright, next purchase was this Robot Wolverine. I know he comes with a set of like robot arms, but he was in the bag. And I bought a bunch of stuff together, and it's like if you buy a certain amount of items you get 15% off, and then the next is 20% off. So I got like a 20% off with this purchase. Oh, this is actually the third purchase, so remember that he's part of the third purchase. Going back to the second purchase, I got this little gizmo. I have him already, but the one I have, his eyeball's all scratched up, and the paint is like kind of scratched up on his toes and his hands. So the paint on this one is much better. So definitely an upgrade. Super happy to have that. Alright, now on with the third purchase. So I got the Wolverine. I got this Lieutenant Ripley. And she looks literally like she just came off the card. Has the unused sticker sheet. Still has the comic book. Has this weapon. And it has this weapon. It had these, all the pieces were separate. So this piece I plugged into the weapon. But I used to have Ripley, and then I got rid of all the humans for some reason, because I had like every Alien and Predator figure from Kenner. and even the rare 2-packs and all that stuff, but I got rid of the humans like a dummy because I like monsters and stuff. But I needed a Ripley because I have the yellow like mech suit thing, and she needs to be in the mech suit, so I got her. Also in that purchase, I got the Aliens Integer figure here, and he looks like he just came off card too, and he's complete. All his little weapons and the little bug creature are in here, so that was awesome. I do have him on card, but to see him loose at a great price was awesome, because this line was pretty hard to come by. Alright, those were the figures I got. Also in the lot, I got this Star Wars piece here, this gun turret from one of the Hoth sets. I know I'm missing the base. I can't remember if it came with anything else, but I really like the turret, and it still has the little thing there, and it has the door. It was dirty. This and the other Star Wars thing I got were like really dirty. It looked like they were in a garage packed away just with 40 years of dust on it, but it cleaned up really nice, so I'm super happy with that. And the other last thing I got in that grouping was Jabba's Dungeon. Now growing up, I had the rare, I think it was a J.C. Penney's version that came with a Man-O-Man and like, was it DV9? I can't remember his name. It's DV something. And then it also came with Barada. So when I saw this, I thought it was that one for a second because I forgot about this version. Brain farts. But when I saw this, I was like, hell yeah, I gotta get this because it brings back so many memories. But the version I had was like the lighter tan version. But this was really cool. I'm super happy to have this. I do have all the figures that go with this one. And I still have the Man-O-Man and the DV9 or whatever, DV8, whatever his name is, that go with this one. I sold Barada when I had to sell my entire Star Wars collection to pay for rent, and that really made me sad, but I've been building it back up, and to add these two pieces back to the collection is awesome. Now it's missing the hook, and it's missing the little thing where you can hang the robot upside down, but I found some repro parts, which I would rather have the originals, yes, but for something like this I don't mind repro parts, so I'm gonna probably pick those up so I can complete this and actually display some figures the way they were intended to. Alright, that was that. I got all that stuff together. Next, I went to this other awesome place, and he had a bunch of vintage toys, and it was really cool. And he had a couple small bins, and one of them was full of Monster in My Pockets. So I grabbed this guy, this guy, this one, which I had him already, but the other one I have has like red staining on him, so this was definitely an upgrade. I got this guy and this dude. Alright, those were the Monster in My Pockets. Then he had another bin that was full of Z-Bots. I got a bunch of Z-Bots. I got like 11 of them, I think. These things are just awesome. I picked out some fun sculpts. From the price he was charging, he gave me a deal since I bought multiples of stuff, so he gave me a deal on the Monster in My Pockets, and then he gave me a deal on these, so I basically got like 3 Z-Bots free, and I got one of the Monster in My Pockets free. I got this one. I think that these ones actually plug into a ship or something, so I'm gonna have to look these up, but I just thought they were neat. Same with this one, maybe. I just picked up some interesting sculpts that I thought were really cool. Like this guy. I mean, he's so cool. This one kind of looks like an owl. Got this cool one with drill hands. Another neat. Z-Bots collection is getting pretty big now. I'm gonna have to look up a list, see which ones I have and which ones I'm missing. Cause I never really checked on Z-Bots. I just pick them up when I see them. There's this one. Lastly, this one's my favorite. It's like a 3-headed dragon. It's really cool. Alright, and the last thing I picked up was this vintage Mork doll. He's like really clean. Still has his boots. I mean, he's missing his like voice box, which I used to have this figure complete, and I sold it for some unknown reason. Probably needed money to pay rent again. It's what sucks when you move out and have to survive. Sometimes you gotta let some toys go. But it was cool when I saw him. I was like, oh my god, I have to get him again. So I'm happy to have him at least, because Mork was awesome. Always fond memories of Robin Williams in that show. So that was a cool find. But there you go. That was the scores I got. Tell me how I did. I think I did pretty good. Some fun pieces for my collection. Couple things that I had, like I used to have. I bought this guy like when they first came out on card, so I had them complete. Sold all my Toy Biz X-Men figures, and then I've been getting the ones back that I loved, and he was one of my favorite ones, so I'm happy to have him back in my collection. And the Star Wars, so I think it was a successful haul. But until next time, friends, thanks so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, help my channel grow, and until next time, peace.